How's it going, everybody? Joys of Sorrow here. Welcome back to the Joys of Sorrow channel. So, little update here on the 29-gallon tank. This is the community tank, of course. As you can see, all the fishies are nice and happy. This weekend, they had the two big tanks had their water changed. Tomorrow, the little tanks get their water changes. And everybody in there is pretty much doing just fine. All the little guys are starting to grow for the most part. I've been keeping my eye very closely on one particular fish in here, and that's this one right here. If you guys notice something, it is a redwag platy, but it's no ordinary redwag platy, because if you look at her siblings, well, her siblings are twice her size, practically. What is going on here? Well, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I can tell, because I can't find any information online about dwarfism in any other species than the red coral and I think the blue coral platies. I think I actually created a dwarf redwag, redwag variant of the dwarf species of platy. So, and she is a female, and if any of the videos from Carlos Diaz are right, that means that as long as I can pair her with a red coral male, which I have red coral males here, but for a better success rate as far as fry go, and I don't want to, thin down that bloodline. In about a month or so, month of 6 weeks, I'm going to go ahead and start looking for a male red wags at the store. Sorry, not male red rag, male red coral dwarfs. And I'm going to find one that I can see as a candidate for her, and hopefully I can make more of them. And as long as I can keep them like that, I mean, I'm going to assume that some of them will be born, standard size, obviously, but it would be great. I mean, I wasn't intending on making something like this. I mean, my real intention was to make a kind of koi pattern with this guy and Sally, the redwag, the one that's in the hospital tank. Didn't work out exactly to plan, so but yeah, I gotta admit, that's how would I put it? Damn it, I know there's a word. Serendipity, there you go. I knew I'd find it. There was a bit of a serendipity there, so if I can keep this line going, it'd be great. Now, she is the only female I have thus far that is redwag patterned, and she's a dwarf. There is this little guy right here who's showing signs that he might actually be a dwarf, or he might be deformed. I'm not 100% sure. But it's a male, and if I did make a male dwarf version, I can always breed that one with the females. There she is, one of the older females there. And if they take, there's a possibility that I can get babies out of them. Possibility. Not exactly 100% sure. This has all been just kind of, how would I put it? My crazy concoction of ideas. I guess that's the only way I could really put that. Eventually, the only plans I really have to do with this tank is I am going to be removing that filter. I need that filter for another tank. Also, if you guys take a look in there, there is a baby in there. And I'm assuming this little guy is most likely the little guy that I was not able to pick out from the last batch of fry. But it looks like he's actually mated. He does seem to have a bit of a curled tail, so I'm wondering if it either has scoliosis or might just be injured, because he is still small enough for at least the much bigger ones to go after him. And hell, I think even well, there's not one right here right now, but there's one back there. I think maybe the little Cory cat can probably get at him too, so trying to get him is a pain in the ass. I've already tried yesterday twice. that's not gonna happen. I even tried scooping him up with the Grabble vac, and no, this guy is just really, really fast and really, really jittery. So I'm just gonna, I guess you could say, let nature take its course and let him stay in there. See, as you can see, some of the older siblings are like, "You're small enough to eat," you know. So, but it's a survivor, so we'll just leave him there. All right, guys. So pretty much that's it for the update. Water quality is good. I will say this. I am not testing as often as I used to with this tank. I test now maybe every 2 weeks, even once a month now. I'm not doing weekly testing, and I don't recommend this for anybody. I really don't, what I'm about to say, but it seems like over time I can just, realize the fish's behavior as to the conditions of the water. Also, like right now, it's pretty clear water. You don't really see much particles at all in the water. Just some of the bubbles that are being brought in from the filter. But I can now tell when there's obviously something wrong. Obviously if my fish are hanging around the surface, something's afoot. If their fins or anything like that are just like clamped down and they're just hanging around in the corner or something like that, I know something's wrong. Same thing with the plants as well. I have cut back a little bit on dosing the nutrition for the plants. I was doing it twice a week. Now I'm just going to go back to once a week. Main reason why is I have hair algae growing on, well, most of it was growing on this. One of the main reasons why I moved it over here, because the sun really comes in this direction from this window right here. So I don't mind the algae. I don't mind the hair algae at all. I actually think it's kind of cool, really. So I'm not going to get rid of it, but at the same time, I don't want it getting out of hand. I also don't want it in certain areas, like, for example, up there on the filter. Don't really like that there. So I am going to have to find a dedicated algae-eating fish to eventually make sure that at least this keeps, stays in check. So, hey, little guy. So again, guys, thanks for watching. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe. Have a great day, and happy holidays.